Hi everyone, this is Leah from Palm and Grace, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to use my annual budget spreadsheet template. This budget spreadsheet will work from January to December of any year, as well as with any currency. It also comes in 2 different color themes, so you can pick the one that fits you more. If you have not grabbed a copy of this spreadsheet template yet and you would like to, I'll be sure to leave a link in the description box below. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. The very first tab that you're going to edit in this spreadsheet is the Start tab, and this is where you're going to fill out all the details for your spreadsheet. While you're going to set it up initially, you can also come back to this tab at any point and add more categories. In the Start tab, you're going to add in your currency symbol. You can either type this in or copy and paste your currency symbol in. You're going to type in the current year. You can add a starting amount if you would like to. If not, it is totally fine to leave this at 0. And you can also check or uncheck whether or not you want to roll over leftover funds to the next month. So for example, if you have a budget for January and you end up with $50 that you haven't spent at the end of the month, you can choose whether or not you want that $50 to roll over into the budget for February, or you can choose to just start fresh in February and ignore that $50 by unchecking the box. Be sure to select the option that you want before editing any of the budget tabs. In this tab, you're also going to add in different categories for your expenses. In the first section, you're going to add in variable expense categories, and these are the expenses that will change from month to month, and you'll track them in the variable expenses tab. So for example, these might be things like groceries, miscellaneous purchases, going out and shopping, meals out, or whatever you would like. After you add in an expense category, you can also select whether that is a want, a need, or a saving. This will help with the calculations to break down the percentage of wants, needs, and savings on each of the monthly tabs. In the next section, you can add in different bills and subscriptions, and in this column here, you can add in a frequency, which is completely optional and it doesn't impact anything in the spreadsheet. This column is completely for you and for your organizational purposes, so you can see, for example, whether a certain bill or subscription is monthly, yearly, biannually, and when you'll need to pay them off. And in this section as well, you can also select from the dropdown whether it is a want, a need, or a saving. The next section is the debts area, and here you can add in any different debts that you're paying off. In this section, you'll want to add in the debt name, a minimum monthly payment, and then we have all of the debts automatically set to the needs category. The last section is the savings and investments category. Here you can add in your different savings and investments, a start amount if necessary, and a goal amount. We also have this type automatically set to savings. In this section, you can add in savings that are both for specifically that year and long-term savings that might span over multiple years. So for example, if you're creating a holiday fund where you're just setting aside, for example, $20 a month, then you would have a start amount of 0 since you're starting it that year, and you can add in your goal. If, for example, you're saving up for a trip over a few years, you can add in how much you've already saved for the trip as the start amount and the long-term goal, which may or may not be met this year. This will help you track your progress for that fund so you can see exactly how much you've set aside and how much you still need to save. And that is it for how to use the Start tab. The next tab is the Annual Overview tab. This tab is a fully automated tab that pulls from all the numbers that you input later on in the spreadsheet and puts them into one detailed summary tab. It's important to note that you don't need to type in anything into this tab because it is fully automated, and I would really try not to just to avoid messing up certain formulas. While I'm not going to go over individually everything that is in this tab because there is truly a ton, there are a couple of things that I want to note. First of all, for any of the charts that don't have labels or even the charts that do where you want to see more of the data, you can click on the chart and hover over certain parts of it to see more detailed data. And same with these charts right here, you can hover over certain points to see the exact amounts. And you can also do this with these pie charts down here. Another thing that I want to note is that at the bottom of this tab, you're going to see these expandable and collapsible sections. I wanted to make them expandable and collapsible because there are so many categories that it takes up a lot of room, and I wanted you to be able to condense them to save space and help to organize. But for any of these sections, you can click the plus sign or the minus sign to collapse it on the left sidebar, and it will expand a detailed summary of how much you spent for each category over the course of the year, just like this. And that really covers the basics of this Annual Overview tab. There's so much that you can see all in one place here, and it's going to be so exciting as it slowly updates for you throughout the year. The next tab is the Savings tab. This tab is also fully automated, which you can see by this lock symbol down here, which means that if you accidentally try to edit a section, this error pop-up will appear and you can just click cancel to exit out of it and ensure that you don't accidentally edit something. This tab pulls from all the monthly tabs to track the money that you've set aside for each of your savings. Each savings box will show you the goal amount, which you've set from the Start tab, the Start amount, which also comes from the Start tab, how much you saved this year, how much you saved total, the average monthly contribution, which comes from the monthly budget tabs, automated pie chart, which shows you the percentage of your progress. There are also some summary stats at the top of this tab, and you can see that there are a lot of different sections for all the categories. At the bottom of this tab, you can select any of the funds and see how much you've saved each month for that fund. If you remove a fund from the box, you'll just see a summary of the total amount of savings that you've had per month. If you scroll down even more, you'll be able to see a summary box of each of the savings and how much has been set aside for each of them throughout the year. And that is it for how to use the Savings tab. The next tab is the Variable Expenses tab, where you're going to log in each of your expenses throughout the year. Here's how to use this tab. The very first thing that you're going to want to do is add in a date for each of your transactions. To do this, you can either type in the month, date, and year, or you can double-click any cell in the date column and select that date from the pop-up calendar. After that, you can add in a description for the transaction, which is completely optional. So for example, for this first transaction, it might be renting a canoe for the lake. Something like that. Next, you can select from the drop-down any of the categories for your variable expenses, which comes from the categories that you inputted into the Start tab. Then you can add in your amount, any notes, which is completely optional, and this last column is completely automated, and it pulls whether that category is a want, need, or saving from the Start tab. Most, if not all, should be wants or needs. You may also notice this section at the top, which allows you to highlight certain transactions based on criteria. You can either select transactions based on the category they're in or the month they're in. So when you select category, you'll then be able to select all your category options. And once you select a category, all the transactions that have that specific category will be highlighted. You can also select month from the drop-down and then select any month from these drop-downs, and then all the transactions in that month will appear highlighted. If you don't want any highlights, you can simply remove one or both of the options, and then you'll see no highlights in your variable expenses. The last thing that I want to note about this tab is that there is a filter on any of the transactions, which means that you can sort or filter any of the transactions, such as by amount, whether they're a want or need, the category, or the date. So for example, if I wanted to see only the needs, I could select these 3 lines here and then uncheck the options that are not needs, and now I see all of my transactions that are specifically categorized as needs. If I wanted to sort by amount in ascending order, I could easily do that by sorting A to Z. I could also do the same thing with the date in ascending order or descending order if I did Z to A. Or I could choose to view only certain categories. So maybe I'm going to clear all and I only want to view adventures and gifts. And then when I click OK, I'm now only seeing my variable expenses that are in the adventures or gifts category. And that is it for how to use this variable expenses tab. The last tabs in the spreadsheet are the monthly budget tabs, which are almost completely the same, but they track for different months. There's a monthly budget tab for each of the 12 months in the year. It's completely up to you how much you actually want to budget. So if you only want to budget half of your paychecks, then you can go ahead and totally do that. Or if you want to budget all the money that you're getting, you can also do that as well. Be sure that when you're adding in information, budgets, actuals, that you're in the correct month that you want to be adding them in for, because they all do look so similar. Another thing that I want to quickly note is that you only want to input text into the white cells in these tabs. All of the darker columns are completely automated, and you don't want to type anything into them because it might break a formula. Again, that is throughout all of the monthly budget tabs. So here's how to use these monthly tabs step by step. One of the very first things that you're going to want to do is fill out this incomes box. You can add in different income types that you're projecting and their estimated budget. As you begin to actually get paid, you can add in the actual amount here. You can add up to 10 different incomes. So these could be your paychecks, it could be money that's gifted to you, it could truly be whatever you want that you want to be recorded as an income in the spreadsheet. As you add in your income, budgets, and actuals, the numbers will automatically update down here. The remainder of these sections to the right are where you're going to include your expenses. These are your variable expenses, your bills, your debts, and your savings. The variable expense section is a little bit different because you don't need to add in the actual amount. The actual amounts will be calculated from the variable expenses tab and will pull the numbers that correspond with the correct month and category. What you can do in this section at the beginning of the month is add in a budget for each of your different categories. And yes, it's totally okay if you have a budget of 0 for something if you don't want to spend money there that month. As you add in your variable expenses, as said before, the actual amounts will automatically update, as well as the left to spend amounts in this right column. If you scroll to the bottom of this box, you'll be able to see calculations of the total budget, the total amount actually spent, and the total left remaining to spend of your budgets. The next section is the bills tracker section. Here you can add in a budget for each of your bills for that month, and then as you get the bills and pay them, you can add in the actual amounts. You can also check off the different bills as you pay them to stay organized. The next section is the debts payment tracker, which is very similar except you're tracking your debts here instead. Here you can add in a budget for how much you want to spend for each month and then the actual amount that you end up spending. You may notice this section to the right, which looks like this. There is a checkbox that you can toggle on and off, and when you do that, the minimum payment for that debt will appear right here. This is so you don't have to go all the way back to the Start tab and track down that debt to see what the minimum monthly payment for each debt is. Unless you've paid a debt off, you'll know that you want to budget at least the minimum monthly payment for that debt. And you also know that you want to pay at least the minimum. So you can easily add in the minimums that you have here in this column right into your budget. If you don't want to see these numbers, you can just leave this button unchecked and you don't have to see the minimums. And finally, the last section is the savings payment tracker over here. Similar to the other sections, you can check off the savings once they've been paid, and you can add a budget for how much you want to set aside for each saving, as well as the actual amount set aside. As you add in numbers into each of these sections, the rollover amount, if toggled on, and the cash flow box will automatically update. In the January month, the start amount will be pulled in this first column, but in the other months, such as February, the rollover amount from the previous month will be added into the first column. As you can see here, the budgets and the actuals for each category have updated as I've added in the numbers. At the bottom, you can also see what's left, and I've added in some notes here, which you can just hover over or click the cell to view what each of these numbers mean. So in this cell, it shows the budget that is left to allocate, which we've actually over allocated here, so it's a negative number. And in this box here, you can see the total cash remaining, and this is the number that will be rolled over to next month if the rollover setting is on. So again, this is the cash that you have left over that you have not spent. If your rollover setting is on, this number will appear in this box up here. However, if you have your rollover setting off, then you'll see that no funds will roll over to the next month. But right now, I'm just going to keep them on. As you add in numbers, all of the charts in this tab will also automatically update. And as previously mentioned, if you want to see more detailed numbers and stats, you can click on any chart and hover over the pieces to see more detailed numbers. And this truly goes for any of the charts. Another section that I want to show you that is somewhat hidden further down on the left-hand side is this breakdown of the wants, needs, and savings. This takes all the calculations in this tab and shows you what percent are wants, what percent are needs, and what percent are savings. You can also view these numbers for budgeted amounts and for actual amounts by changing this dropdown. So you can see how what you've budgeted changes from what is actually spent. If you scroll down to the right, in the bottom right-hand corner of this tab, you can also see the spend by day over the month. And these numbers are from your variable expenses. And although they're tiny, if a number in this section has an asterisk sign, that means that that day falls on the weekend. So you can see if you spend more on the weekend versus on a weekday, and maybe that can help you to reform your spending habits if you would like to do so. The last thing I want to note about these tabs is that you may have categories that have the same budget every month. And rather than having to retype in each budget number for each category, you can easily just copy and paste them. So to do that, you can select the budget numbers and do Command-C or Control-C on your keyboard, and then go over to another month, click the top cell, and do either Command-V or Control-V on your keyboard. Now, all these numbers are already the same, so you don't see anything change, but that's a really easy thing to do if, for example, they were all blank. You can just paste them in like that. If you prefer to just right-click and click Copy or Paste, you can also do that as well. And as you can see in this tab, since the actual spend is different, in this left column, when there is a negative number, it will appear slightly red so that you can see that you've gone over the budget. And that's just a quick hack to save time throughout this spreadsheet so that you can use it as efficiently as possible. And that is pretty much it for how to use these monthly tabs. The cash flow section over here will show you how much money you have left to budget, so you can make sure that you're not over budgeting or that you're not under budgeting and have a ton of money left to budget. The actual amounts over here in this column and up in the charts will help you to see how on track you are with your spending and how much left you have to spend. And ultimately, I hope that this tool really helps you to keep your finances organized and helps you to create better spending habits that help you to reach your financial goals. If you have any questions at all regarding any of these tabs, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to help. Now, this tutorial is almost over, but there's one last thing that I want to talk about. As you know, this budget spreadsheet is an annual budget, which means that for each year, you're going to create a new copy of this spreadsheet. This will help you to stay organized and view your annual spending for each year. However, one thing that could seemingly get a little tedious each year is having to retype in your categories and different amounts that appear on the Start tab. So a quick hack that I want to show you is that you can easily just copy and paste your categories if they stay the same from year to year. If you want to weed out a few, you can also do that as well. This will help you to save time. Regarding your savings and investments, if you have a fund that spans over multiple years, such as maybe a travel fund, you're going to want to make sure that you change the start amount to reflect how much was saved in the previous year. So say, for example, I want to continue saving for my travel fund in the next year, my start amount is now going to become what my end amount was at the end of the previous year. So when I'm setting up my spreadsheet for the next year, I'm going to begin with the total amount I have saved, which is $884 instead. This will help you to just keep track year over year of your total progress for each fund. And I hope that makes sense. And again, there is another color theme that you can select from if this color theme is not for you. And that is it for how to use my annual budget spreadsheet template. I'm so excited for you to use this, and I hope that it truly transforms your finances, how organized you are, how confident you are, and your spending habits to reach your financial goals. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to help. If you have not grabbed a copy of this spreadsheet template yet and you would like to, I'll be sure to leave them linked in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you around again here soon.